There's a system that delivers hundreds of gallons of clean drinking water to your home every single month at zero cost. No pipes from a utility company, no water treatment bill, no monthly subscription to any municipality. The collection surface is already built. You are living under it right now. Your roof intercepts thousands of gallons of rainwater every year, and every drop of it runs off into a drainage system owned by someone who will charge you separately to deliver water back to your tap. In 14 American states, collecting that water before it hits the ground is a crime. Not regulated, not permitted with a license. A crime. Because a household that collects its own rainwater is a household that stops paying a water bill. And $900 billion in annual global water utility revenue depends entirely on you never making that connection. They did not make this illegal because rainwater is dangerous. They made it illegal because rainwater is free. This is the story of the oldest water system in human history, the legal machinery built to suppress it, and exactly how to build it yourself for under $50. Welcome to Forbidden Camping. If these stories matter to you, the subscribe button and the bell are the best way to make sure this knowledge survives. Here we open the vaults, the industry locked shut. Let me take you back 3,000 years. Ancient Anatolia, the region we call Turkey today. Archaeologists excavating the Hittite capital of Hattusa uncovered an interconnected network of stone cisterns carved directly into bedrock beneath the royal district. Each cistern was fed by carved stone channels running from the edges of flat rooftops above. The system collected and stored enough water to sustain the entire palace complex through 6 consecutive months of dry season without a single river, well, or aqueduct supplying the city. The Hittites understood something the modern water utility industry has spent a century trying to make you forget. Rain falls on your roof, whether you collect it or not. If you do not collect it, it disappears into a drainage system that returns it to you at a price. The Romans refined this principle into one of the most sophisticated water systems the ancient world ever produced. Every Roman villa of significance incorporated an impluvium, a central courtyard opening designed specifically to channel rainwater from surrounding roof sections into a cistern beneath the floor. Domestic rainwater cisterns supplied Roman households with water for drinking, cooking, bathing, and irrigation, entirely independent of the city aqueduct system. The Roman engineering manuals, attributed to Vitruvius, preserved in fragmentary form in the Vatican Library, contain detailed specifications for roof catchment angles, cistern sizing calculations, and sediment settling chamber design. These are 2,000-year-old engineering blueprints for the exact system 14 American states have made illegal. In Yemen, the ancient city of Sana'a has been continuously inhabited for over 2,500 years in one of the driest regions on Earth. Its survival depended on elaborate hillside terracing and rooftop collection infrastructure that directed every drop of seasonal rainfall into underground cisterns below the city. Some of those cisterns still function today. In Rajasthan, India, the stepwell systems built around 800 AD collected and stored monsoon rainfall in geometrically precise underground chambers designed to minimize evaporation and maintain cool temperatures through dry seasons lasting 8 months. No pumps, no filters costing thousands of dollars, no electricity, no monthly bill, gravity, geometry, and an understanding of how water moves across a surface. In sub-Saharan Africa, communities across Tanzania, Ethiopia, and Kenya have used rooftop collection systems on corrugated iron structures for generations, supplying clean water to villages located miles from any river or municipal infrastructure. The World Health Organization has documented these systems as producing water quality meeting international drinking standards, when combined with basic first flush diversion and simple filtration. Every civilization that faced water scarcity arrived at the same solution independently. The roof above your head is the largest water collection surface you own. Use it. Now let me show you the science, because this is where water utility lobbyists become genuinely uncomfortable. Rainwater is among the purest forms of water that exists in nature before it touches any surface. Atmospheric water vapor condenses around microscopic particles and falls as precipitation with a mineral content and bacterial load far lower than most groundwater sources, and comparable to commercially bottled spring water. The primary contamination risk in rooftop collection is not the water itself, but the roof surface it contacts. Asphalt shingles, bird droppings, leaf debris, and atmospheric particulates accumulate on roof surfaces between rain events. The first flush of any rainfall carries the highest concentration of these contaminants. This is the principle behind the first flush diverter, a device that has been standard in professional rainwater harvesting systems for over a century. A first flush diverter automatically discards the first 1 to 2 gallons of runoff from each rain event before directing the remaining cleaner water into your storage tank. After the first flush is discarded, the water flowing off a clean roof surface is typically clear, low in dissolved minerals, and low in biological contamination. A 2019 study published in the journal Environmental Science and Technology tested rooftop collected rainwater from 47 residential sites across the United States and found that water collected after first flush diversion met EPA primary drinking water standards for bacterial contamination in 89% of samples tested without any additional treatment beyond basic sediment filtration. 89% meeting federal drinking water standards from a clean roof, a $15 diverter, and a basic sediment filter. The remaining 11% of samples required only UV sterilization, a treatment that costs under $30 for a unit that processes 100 gallons per day indefinitely. Now consider the collection potential you are currently wasting. Every inch of rainfall on 1,000 square feet of roof surface yields approximately 550 gallons of collectible water after accounting for evaporation and first flush loss. The average American home has between 1,500 and 2,000 square feet of roof area. At the national average annual rainfall of 38 inches, a typical American home intercepts between 30,000 and 45,000 gallons of rainwater every year. The average American household uses approximately 100 gallons of water per day for all purposes. That is 36,500 gallons per year. Your roof already collects enough rainfall in most of the continental United States to supply your household's entire annual water demand. Every single drop of it is currently flowing into a drainage ditch. Before I go further, everything I have revealed barely scratches the surface of what has been hidden from you. All of it is inside the complete Forbidden Camping Vault. The borax mold elimination protocol that permanently protects every surface in your home for $2, the earth battery that generates free electricity from 2 metals and wet soil, the tannic acid rust guide that protects every tool and vehicle you own for $3, the Tromba wall system that heats and cools your home for free using concrete and glass. And now the complete rainwater harvesting blueprint with exact cistern sizing calculations, filtration specifications, legal state-by-state breakdowns, and first flush diverter installation diagrams. Over 12 guides in one vault, zero filler, every page built for immediate action. The link is in the description right now. But stay here because the legal story behind this rooftop water is the most revealing part of everything I have ever opened on this channel. In 1913, the state of Colorado passed the first rainwater collection restriction in American history. The law declared that all precipitation falling within state borders was the legal property of downstream water rights holders before it ever touched the ground. Read that again. Rain falling from the sky onto your private property was legally owned by someone else the moment it left the cloud. This framework was not designed to protect rivers or wetland ecosystems. It was designed to protect the commercial interests of irrigation water brokers who had spent decades building a business model around controlling water distribution across the arid American West. By 2010, rainwater collection was restricted or outright prohibited in Colorado, Utah, Washington, Oregon, and 10 other states across the West and South. The legal language varied by state, but the intent was identical in every case. Prevent any pathway to household water self-sufficiency from becoming normalized at scale. In 2016, Colorado partially reversed its restriction after years of public pressure. The new law permitted homeowners to collect rainwater in containers not exceeding 110 gallons total. 110 gallons. The average American household uses between 80 and 100 gallons of water every single day. Colorado's legal allowance covers slightly more than 1 day of household water use per year. The restriction was not lifted. It was rebranded as generosity. Meanwhile, the average American household pays between $500 and $1,200 annually for municipal water, depending on location. Over 20 years of home ownership, that is between $10,000 and $24,000, paid to a utility company for a resource, falling freely onto your roof approximately 100 days per year. The global water utility industry, generating $900 billion annually, cannot allow that calculation to become common knowledge. Not because rainwater collection is unsafe. The World Health Organization endorses properly designed rooftop collection systems as a primary water source for billions of people globally, not because it is unreliable. Ancient cities sustained populations for centuries through severe droughts using cistern systems that would still function today, because it is free, permanent, and completely outside every billing relationship that sustains the water industry. A 2021 analysis published in the journal Water Resources Research calculated that if just 15% of American households implemented basic rooftop rainwater collection, municipal water utility revenues across the country would fall by an estimated $87 billion annually. $87 billion. That is the financial threat contained in a 55-gallon drum and a $15 diverter. And that is precisely why the law was written before most of your grandparents were born. Here is exactly how to build a system that works. Start by calculating your monthly collection potential. Multiply your roof area in square feet by the average monthly rainfall in your area in inches, then multiply by 0.5 to account for first flush loss and evaporation. This gives you your realistic monthly yield in gallons. You can find your area's average monthly rainfall in the NOAA precipitation database, which is free and publicly accessible online. Purchase a standard first flush diverter, sized for your roof area. A diverter for a roof up to 2,000 square feet costs between $12 and $18 at any hardware store or online supplier. Install it on your primary downspout by cutting the downspout pipe and inserting the diverter in line according to the manufacturer's instructions. The diverter requires no tools beyond a hacksaw and a screwdriver and takes under 20 minutes to install. Connect the output of the diverter to your storage container using standard 3/4-inch garden hose fittings. For initial storage, a food-grade 55-gallon polyethylene drum costs between $20 and $40 and is rated for potable water storage. These are widely available from food and beverage distributors, farm supply stores, and online suppliers. For larger storage capacity, connect multiple drums in series using 1/2-inch PVC pipe and standard ball valves to allow you to isolate individual containers for cleaning. Cover all containers completely to block sunlight, which promotes algae growth, and to prevent mosquito breeding in open water. A tight fitting lid on each drum is sufficient. For drinking water use, pass collected water through a 2-stage filtration system. Stage 1 is a 5-micron sediment filter cartridge housed in a standard whole house filter housing, which costs under $20. Stage 2 is an activated carbon block filter, which removes organic compounds, chlorine byproducts, and taste and odor contaminants. A complete 2-stage housing and cartridge kit costs between $30 and $50 and processes thousands of gallons before cartridge replacement is needed. For the highest confidence in bacterial safety, add a 12-volt UV sterilization unit downstream of the carbon filter. These units cost between $25 and $50, draw less than 10 watts of power, and destroy over 99.9% of waterborne pathogens in a single pass. The complete system, including diverter, 2 55-gallon drums, 2-stage filtration, and UV sterilization, can be assembled for under $150 in materials. For non-drinking uses, including toilet flushing, garden irrigation, laundry, and outdoor cleaning, the sediment filter alone is sufficient, and the UV stage is unnecessary. These non-potable applications represent approximately 60% of total household water consumption, meaning even a basic unfiltered collection system eliminates 60% of your water bill immediately. A homesteader in rural Tennessee documented his rooftop collection system installed on a 1,200 square foot metal roof in 2020. His system collects an average of 380 gallons per month through the 10-month rainy season and supplements from a small storage reserve through the dry months. His municipal water bill dropped by 73% in the first year. His total system cost was $94. Here is what I need you to sit with. Rain does not charge you for falling on your roof. The Hittites understood this 3,000 years ago and carved their cisterns from solid rock because the value of that free water was worth the labor of stone. The Romans understood it and built it into the foundation of every home worth living in. The people of Sana'a understood it and built an entire civilization in a desert on the strength of water, falling from the sky onto stone. For thousands of years, collecting rainwater was not a political act. It was simply intelligent engineering practiced by every culture advanced enough to build a roof. Then, an industry worth $900 billion decided that your roof was their billing opportunity, and they wrote the law to make sure it stayed that way. The law can restrict what you collect. It cannot change the physics of precipitation. It cannot stop rain from falling. It cannot make water flow uphill away from your cistern. And it cannot survive indefinitely against the weight of people who know what their roof is actually worth. Colorado tried to own the rain in 1913. They still have not fully succeeded in 2025. Some resources are simply too fundamental to human survival to remain privatized forever. If this vault opens something for you today, subscribe and share this video now. Every share delivers this knowledge to someone the water industry prayed would never find it. Every subscription keeps this channel digging into the vaults they thought were sealed forever. The next vault opens soon.